This is day 697, the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor coming share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. It'd be greatly appreciated. As you can tell, we're back in the home base finally. We are doing tonight. Let's see. Siman Tough Lamed Vav Base to Ches. That which there's a chumrah here that even you have in mind to come back and forth Pesach, you still have to check. Shema bar Pesach ben Shmoshos, because it might come Pesach in the evening. Rashi Betulah Pasuk came Rashi into it. Do not agree with the Pesach of the Torah. The Torah is as follows: some first miyab b'shel yom. Some of you who embarks from departs from the shore to the sea. Or Yetzer B'Shara goes on a caravan. Doesn't leave it home. Some you can check. Those Pesach doesn't have mind to come back during Pesach. Im who couldn't mamiyot they Pesach. It's more than 3 days for Pesach. Answer the bar doesn't have to do beer. Yeah, Pesach at Lena Belibo. When Pesach comes, you should just nullify it into Shlomet in his heart. If it's in 30 days, he has to be Mavar the Chometz. He has to eradicate them. Shekvar Cholav Chovas beer. The obligation to eradicate Chometz already devolved upon him. It's already there's the halachos of Pesach being expounded. He dies also b'toch Pesach. He's had mind to come back within Pesach. I feel Rosh Hashanah, even if he leaves all the way beginning of the year. Tzarich levar, he has to eradicate the Chometz. In Shavuot Baldak, if you forgot and did not check, Yivatak Shegia Pesach. Yivatak Chometz when Pesach comes. Akal Shono. And quote, Harei Shelo Yitzvich Al Kodem Lamed Yom B'Da'ato Lachzor. He didn't require bedika when it's more than 3 days before Pesach. He has mind to come back. El B'Dak Shadai Tazor B'Sochim at Pesach. Only has mind to come back during the days of Pesach. Shows any Yochel B'Akta B'Yavra B'Yirah. Because any kind of B'Akta Chometz you're going to violate B'Yirah. And Yavsa Kran Pesach, you're going to before Pesach ain't Sor Klum. Doesn't need anything. The Bo Yivdok. Because when he comes, he'll check. Because Harei Afilu Im Ein Dato Zor Lama Yitzchak B'Yirah Kodem Shloshim Yom. You might ask, if it doesn't have mind to come back, why does it have to do the beer even before 30 days? Otherwise, it's going to violate Ba'ira for the stuff he left at home. So the Torah covered that base by saying, when it comes, you should notify it in your heart. Wherever he is. If the Rabbanan goes to B'diko, if the Rabbanan decreed you should do B'diko, that's a place where you are staying. That you were afraid, we should be afraid you would eat it. Not the Chometz is elsewhere. Feel time Kasavnu. Even according to that which you wrote, that Chometz did not want us to line Bitum, they should tell Adam, because it has to do with a person's thought processes of a Shem Levat, maybe it's not going to be nullified properly. That's when the Chazal were coached that for an ongoing basis, for the ongoing broader public. But for an exception, when he's at a distance, he's compelled to align the bitul, obviously. It's clear, if he doesn't do bitul, he's going to violate by even if he doesn't see the chometz. As long as there's chometz in the place where he should have checked. Somebody wrote about this previously. Brackets he says, Avram Shem Sif Kon Heyos. Machlekes, Avram makes Machlekes, Riano Shem the Enokin, it's Amachlekes, which causes Avram at Smokan, which it doesn't like the Avram seems to say here. So, Shem Shem, it's not what he meant over there. Gimel. The name is even a Torah Mavur. From the words of Torah, it's clear. Lahedya, explicitly. The B'dai to last of Kurna Pesach, it's not as mind to come back for a Pesach. I feel Tov Shloshim Yom, even within 30 days, Eno Zok Levari doesn't do beer. We're compelled to say this. The game of the Shita Zulachach Yishem Avo Ber Pesach, because this coin is being we're not concerning Michael Mer Pesach, Ben Hashmashos by twilight. It came Mali Tok Shloshim Mali and Magashom. What difference it make if it's within 30 or after 30? In other words, if Pesach was within 30 days or after 30 days. Henkasav Alam for Shir Shulchan Aruch. The Taz writes that as well. I would even have been Custom see base. Yesha Kun Lamich answer Livdok. Those who say that before 30 days you don't have to check. Hainuk Shein Daitel Achzor this is all part of the big quote from the Beis Yosef. That which they say with that before 3 days, you have to check. How exchange died those over to Pesach. So you don't mind to come back during Pesach. Papi should die those over my Pesach. Achrov. That's interesting. Even though he has in mind to come back before Pesach or after Pesach, instantly came to Kodim Shloshim Chuli Akan Shana. It counts as more than 30 days. Only if you intend to come back during Pesach, you have to check before 30 days. So that's Rashi too. But thinking about Kodem Lamed, that's more than 30 days out. I was talking about within 30 days. Pesach. You have to check, even if you have in mind to come back before Pesach, because the obligation of checking has devolved upon him already before he left. He's the opinion of the Chok Yaakov and the Makor Chaim, not like the Taz, and that's the much most of the Yerushalmi, as he will clarify. Daled, you should know. You should know. The Shita Saram Matur Lefiha Shas Shalom. The Shumam Matur Argamar, the Bavli. Title of Zochar Mitzvah, he has in mind to come back, it's worse. They argue what it means. The Rambam with them, so by that few title of Zochar and Pesach, Ram holds it means even have in mind to come back before Pesach. I have a term for it, Dafka Tocha Pesach. The has in mind specifically when you intend to come back during Pesach. Like we wrote. I was Shami before Belashon says, Shami says very differently. Shami says, it's a Farish, somebody goes out to a long trip, Kodim Shloshim Yom before 3 days, ain't Tzorach Livdok. Doesn't have to check. Tosh Shloshim, if it goes out within 30 days, Tzorach Livdok. He has to check. Hadad, the Tema, that's true. She should die till so he has in mind to come back. He doesn't have in mind to come back. I feel Kodim Shloshim Yom and Tzorach. I feel Kodim Shloshim Yom Tzorach Livdok. Even for the 30 days, you have to check. With Safek. And that's really not sure. Avo Bevada, but if you're definitely going to intend to come back, I feel Rosh Hashanah. You never check from Rosh Hashanah. All right, above, I feel Yesh B'dai to allow, so even if you have mind to come back, Tzarech Livdok, we have to check. Shema Yimalech, because you might change your mind, but you have to come back. Akan Lashona Yerushalmi. Quote. Hey, Vinay, Shitas Rashi to Yeshcham and Dvanki B'Shah Shalom. Kodim Rashi to us works out like our Gemara. Vali Bush is means to say, Hadad, the Taim Rabbi Sheish Dai to so Kodim Pesach. When you have to check when you have mind to come back before Pesach. I ain't Dai to Zokar. No. When you don't have to check it for their 30 days. B'sheish the Dai to Zokar Pesach. You have in mind come back before Pesach and you'll check then. Avim B'Dai to Zokar Pesach. Pesach, you don't have mind to come back before Pesach. Pesach, but only middle Pesach. I will come even before 3 days you have to check. But that's according to Rashi to it. But according to the Rambam, Cholika Sham Shashlon, Usham argues probably. Starting near the Rambam Farish Shashlon B'Chametz Vadai. So how do you reconcile the two Shasim? So the Rambam, he says, the Rambam explains that the Bible is talking about definite Chametz. Sham Bibatsu, the Tamid Chayav Livdok. The Yerushalmi itself says that you always have to check if there's Vada Chametz. We don't mind to come back at all. The Yerushalmi should let him come with diet. It's sufficient to nullify where you're going to be. That is enough. There's evidence of our Gemara that says about absolute chametz. The Omer zokuk levar. So it says you have to eradicate zokuk levar. Lomar zokuk livdok. Doesn't mean you have to check. Doesn't say you have to check. Klosh Yerushalmi, like Yerushalmi says. The b'diko here safek u'biyal avadai. Checking is when there's a suffix. Eradicating is what you say when there's definite chametz. Pap Sharam Atzmo Kosav Lashon Livdok. The Ram himself wrote a language of Livdok. Lo Chashash was that proud Lashonos. He was concerned about to change this detail. The Shanos Lashon to change the language uses in all the prokim. Ava B'Safi Chalios some other Rama the Rashi Tur. But it's possible in the case of Safek, the Rama would be concede the point of Rashi and Tur. Yisuf Rama, the Rama would paskin. Krabi Ba, like the Ba says in Yerushalmi, the Bavade, I feel Daito Lachazor Kana Pesach, that the Bavade, when it's definitely Chametz, I feel Daito Lachazor Kana Pesach, even if you have in mind to come back for Pesach, Chayiv Levar, you have to be Mavar before you leave. But Fiz Lechel Kura Basin, Dina Pirush Gemara, this is no argument halacha, but the question is the Parish of Gemara, when it's Medayik difference between Levar and Livdok and Levar. The Rashi with Tubim Farshi with Safek, and the Rashi and Tur will explain that. Actually, it's not the Var question of the Lashon, sorry. But he says that Rashi and Tur explain that the Gemara in the Bible is talking about a Safek. For Rami Farish Varavad is the Rambam's going to say it's talking about Bavada. Ko, V'im Ko, regardless, Lididon to us, Ladina bebali ashmir lachmir kol yidin. You have to be machmir no matter what. If you have a mind to come back for Pesach, during Pesach, etc. Safek Yeshua Skrash Yatur came to Yerushalmi Sailahu. For the Safek, you can pass him like the Rashi in the Tur, since the Yerushalmi Paskin holds like them. That if you don't have, if your das is only to come back, only if your das is going to come back during Pesach, you have to check. Not if your das come back before or after Pesach. It says brackets Farshi Yerushalmi Nidchu Ma'olah Farish Lo Rambam Fim Hashtav Ein Tzashabe Pshitus. And the way he writes, he works out relatively well. Yeshua says in La Halacha, many Acharim say you should marry the first opinion, which is Rambam. If you come back before or after Pesach, you still have to check. Unless it's Shas Chak, where you have to leave immediately with a caravan, etc. You can learn. You can lie in the opinion of the Torah and not check unless you have a mind to come back specifically during Pesach itself. Vav, V'day, you should know the Makom She's Kakun Levok, a place where we require you to check. So the Balashim Neitz Yoso, in other words, times you have to check. So the Balashim Neitz Yoso, I know you have to check the night before you leave by the light of a candle. Shas B'dika Bato Gamken. And then when you do B'dika, it shows me Vato. Yes, some say that Bittul in the Pesach, leave the Bittul for Pesach. Because like Ika Geder Rishoina. Chashukam passes with the first opinion, make the Bittul then, which is like the Makor Chaim over the Taz and Chok Yaakov. The wherever Chachamim said you have to check, so Bittul, they also require Bittul notification. Like the simple language. The person who checks has to nullify. Besides the brackets and cryptic, which is not going to make sense to us. Okay, but name it. A bracha you don't make if it's not the night of B'dikas Chometz, you dalit. The bracha is man B'dikas Chometz. The bracha is only made for you dalit. So a place where you said you have to check and you forgot and did not check. Yevatel, you should notify the Chometz, check. You have Pesach. When the time for Pesach comes, lo yivlecha bittul, but don't make a bracha on the bittul then. Came the ikar bittul b'leiv, we already saw you don't make a brachas on things which are in your heart. It's interesting that the Shabura and Bir Halacha say it's tzarich if you have to make a bracha. Make a bracha before Yudal. Of course, our meaning is not to. It's our brachas halacha regardless. Zayin Koser Rabbein Rama Aldinim Elu Bezel Shana. The Rama writes, "Kam Mishtotiv Lo Kutabat Tel So his wife should check and notify his house if he's away from home. Maybe he's going to forget wherever he is. I go show him. Udvol Tmuim. Words are astonishing. This whole halacha is talking about a case where nobody's left at home to check. He left somebody, he doesn't have to do anything. But I have to say, the Zesh is bar, that which we explained. As they can lie whoever left behind, that's when you left a male behind. Isha ain't a smoke, we should not rely on a female. That's the Bach. And therefore it says, nevertheless, even though she's not relying on her, nevertheless, she also check and nullify. Ishmael Shomer, those say the Zesh bar the Kshinech base of instantly. Others say that what you said when you left something behind, you don't have to check. That's when he directed them to check without him. But he didn't leave a directive. Because basically, we shouldn't rely on his wife's or the members of his house for checking. And nevertheless, you should still check and notify the comments. Those who say, explain, we're talking about a case where he has his own room, and his wife and kids have in other rooms. So Chok Yaakov. Arukh HaShulchan says himself, all they didn't require you to do was B'dika if somebody's home. They shamed him because they're going to check it 9 to 14. But the notification, love, is always incumbent upon him, even where he's at a distance. Bittul anywhere. But bittul diday adifa mituva, and his bittul is far superior to theirs. Because they don't really own the chametz. Okay, so the day when somebody leaves on the road, they check it 9 to 14. And he should vatel no matter where he is. Famous they really don't have to vatel. Nevertheless, the Ramah says, his wife should check and notify. So in the house, Shema Yishkach Levatel Moakom Shehu, because then he's going to forget to do the bittul wherever he is. She Beis Abdika Levatel. So when she's checking for her personal purposes, because she's home, she's to be Mevatel, and that would work for him B'diavad as well. Ches Chenos Beis to somebody who's making a warehouse. Klomar Shekol Shana Yishtam B'Sham Chametz. The entire year he was using an area of Chametz. Otzar. Now you want to make it a warehouse, like team for wood or davar achad, some other substance. Tosh Loshim, if it's within 30 days of Pesach, first you have to check the place. Only afterwards put your stockpiles in there. If you love that you didn't check before your stockpile, you gotta remove everything from the warehouse and check. Even if you don't have mind to remove it for a Pesach, which would be like a chavetz upon which an avalanche fell, should not be a chumuchiv to check. Nevertheless, it came with Tok Shloshim, since within 30 days of the Yom Tov, Chal, Allah, chavetz abdika, the obligation to check, devolved upon him. If 30 days, if he has a mind to remove that stockpile for a Pesach, certainly don't have to check. Chakos say Otzman and make it into a stockpile. So the afraid is going to just remove enough that's within 3 tefachim on the ground. So there's no mapoles, no avalanche principle involved. Then you get distracted, you won't check. Ain't that to the base, so we don't have a mind to clear out this warehouse for a Pesach, and so we don't have to check that. It's like an avalanche fell on the stuff. So that's around the so-called Rambam. That's a tour. If you have mind to remove the stuff before Pesach, you also don't have to check. Check when you remove it. Like it goes with somebody who's going out on the road. Has mind to come back during before Pesach. Said in the Gemara, he has a mind to remove it. He has to check. That's what he has in mind to remove it during the